good lunchtime, everyone. I say good lunchtime because it's not really morning, is it? So how are we all doing? Greetings from Menorca. It is so hot today. How are we all doing? Hopefully that we've all connected, because I'm just waiting for your comments to come up because I've not had anything come up yet. Hang on, let me just click live chat. Oh yeah, here we are. We've got people. Hi to Belvedere, hi to Paula, hi to Rosie. Who else have we got? Mel, hiya Gabby, hi to Aidan, hi to Jew Ulcer. Hello to Craig Cargill, Jules B, Lisa May is here as well. We've got Rebecca J. Hi to Wendy Kemp, Lucy Lou, Sophie Robinson, Ebony Knight, Tyler, Louise Horan, Charlene Taggart, Eugene McGeever, Katie M, Ali McNally is here, Carly, Leslie, Pat Taylor, Andrew Lane. Peter Anderson says, hi Gabby, hi to you. It's so hot. Gary Jones, Thomas Wilding, Pauline Grigg, Aideen Campbell, Keisha Davis, the Foxy Bee, John Beerworth is here as well. Hi Gabby, hi to you. Sorry about the fact that the camera probably isn't at the best angle, but it is due to the fact that I've had to do a make-do stand today because I don't actually have the accessories that I have with me. Hiya Chris, how are you? How are you? Thanks for joining. I just want to apologise everybody, first of all, for changing the day of the coffee morning. Obviously, I know this isn't really much of a coffee morning. It's more like a lunchtime coffee lunchtime. Yeah, that's what I would say. But obviously we were traveling on Monday and it would have just been impossible to do a coffee morning. The day started off at about, what time did we get up? I think it was about 2:30 in the morning. So we all got up and we drove down to Stansted, which is where we got the plane from to come here to Menorca. We flew at around about 7:30, I think it was. And then by the time, the plane got in and we got on the transfer bus and got here, didn't even know if there was Wi-Fi or anything here, to be honest with you. So I didn't know how I would achieve a coffee morning on a Monday at all. So I decided I'd reschedule it. And I was going to do it for this morning, but obviously you know that we're an hour ahead. And to be fair, we've been getting up a bit later in the mornings because the sun doesn't go in till really late. So we've been having later evenings, and that means we've been having getting up late in the morning. So basically, yeah, everything's a little bit of a knock-on effect. So rather than it be a coffee morning, by the time we'd had breakfast and got ourselves sorted, it's become a lunchtime. So anyway, thank you, and I'm sorry for mucking you all around. Claire says, thank you for you and Tim. Your vlogs helped me get through my chemotherapy treatment. I hope that's all going well, and I'm really glad that we've helped in some way. Two of my relatives got home okay to Yorkshire from Alicante. Oh, I did hear last night you did say you'd got family who were in Alicante. This was a very last minute deal, to be honest. We knew I'd scheduled a week off from singing. Usually we go away in June anyway, because it works out quite well, because obviously the summer holidays is just so busy. So with singing and everything, that I just can't really afford to take time off then. So I always schedule a week if I can in June. And we were actually meant to book this early in the year, but because we've been so busy with gigs and then Tim, and to be fair, our ship's kind of crossing the night. So he's basically away, and then when he comes back I go and do my gigs. So we never really have time to sit down and go, right, let's book our family holiday. And we kept leaving it, and then it was literally, I think it was it Sunday? No, it wasn't Sunday. It was later on in the week. It was definitely after we done that live. We'd got 5 days before we flew anyway, and we were like, let's book something. And I had a look, and I literally just said to Tim, let's do this one. This is good. Let's do it. So basically we booked this one. We booked Reject 2, and we did get a bit of a deal with it, which was great because we were looking at exactly the same holiday with On the Beach. And then, it's always good to compare because you just never know. And then we went Reject 2 in the end because there was actually a late deal, like saving on it. So we managed to save ourselves almost like nearly £500 booking with Jet2 because it was cheaper anyway with Jet2, but they had a last minute saving, a late saving on it. You know what I mean? So anyway, there was a deal on it. So we took advantage of that, and here we are. So we picked this one. But to be honest with you, I don't know if any of you out there have been to Menorca or this particular part of Menorca. I've only been to Menorca once, and it was for a friend's wedding in November. And from the moment we got off the plane, it rained non-stop until we got back on it. It was just pure rain. You wouldn't believe it. So I said to Tim, you know, let's do Menorca. I've never really seen it in the sunshine, so let's give it a go, because we've been to Mallorca a few times. Ibiza umpteen times. I mean, he even lived in Ibiza for a bit. So, you know, I said, you know, I've seen so much of Ibiza. Let's do something different. So we picked here, and obviously Tim did say it doesn't look like there's much around that hotel that we've picked. And I said, I don't care. I just want to switch off and... Sorry, it was a wasp or whatever it was. It buzzed. I thought I just want to switch off. I just want somewhere where there's a pool and a baby section for Casper to have fun, you know, and cool off. I want a sunbed. I want peace. I want quiet. I want somewhere where there's a bar. I want somewhere where I can get some food, and that we've got really nice, clean and tidy accommodation, because to me, that's the main thing. I don't want bells and whistles. I just want it to be modern to a certain degree, where, you know, we've got access to CBeebies and stuff like that, and just clean. And the reviews were great, so we picked here. And when we got here, we were like, wow, there really is nothing here. Like, it is really closed off completely. There's nothing here. I'm vlogging this anyway, so you'll be able to see in the vlog exactly what it's like, and Tim's vlogging it as well, so you will definitely get an idea of what we're talking about. But there is something I like about it. But then there are moments where you think this is a real pain, because there is a shop, but to get to this shop, it is downhill, and walking uphill in heat drives me insane. I absolutely hate it. I hate being so uncomfortable. I like warm weather, but I don't like having to walk uphill or bike uphill and do anything strenuous in warm weather. So in order for us to go to the shop, and it just so happens that we haven't actually got a car on this one, because we booked with Jet2, we've got all our transfers in and everything. We never actually booked a car. So we're actually carless. And I said, it's okay. I don't want a car. I don't want to be like in the heat, getting Casper in the car, you know, getting like Holly in the car, getting sand from the beaches and stuff, and getting it all in, and then having the hassle of having to hoover it before we take it back to the hire company. I don't want a car, don't want it. I just want a pool. And now I'm thinking I really need a car, because when we want to get the shop and we want to get some water in and stuff like that, because we're not all inclusive with self-catering, we really like having to walk up a hill, and I don't like it. I really don't. We can actually buy water here at the bar, but you should see the comparison, because basically, because there isn't anything here, I think the bars kind of know that you don't really have much option when you need to go and buy something, so they rack the prices up good and proper. So what I usually do on holiday is I tend to get like one of those massive bottles of water, you know, like the huge ones that you get, and then I'll get like some singular bottles as well, and I'll drink that, and then I'll keep filling up the big bottle with the little bottles, and that basically saves you quite a bit of money. And to be fair, you can buy water quite cheap in the shops, especially if you go to like a Lidl's, you can get it really, really cheap. But here in the hotel, if you want to buy like a mediocre sized like bottle of water, we're talking €3 for one. So by the time you've bought the whole family a bottle of water, you know, we're looking at like €10 for water, which if you're doing, and bear in mind you get through more than that in a day, don't you? So you need about what, at least 3 or 4 of those each a day, because you need to keep well hydrated in the heat. So you just, yeah, it could get really, really expensive. So you need to continue, unless you're all in. If you're all inclusive, no problem at all. But basically we have to walk down the shop and walk up the hill with the like 5 litres of water, and it's sweating. It's a nightmare, even with the pram, pushing Casper, and yeah, lugging that water is hell. The one time we actually need a car. But I'm still not going to hire a car. We're not doing it. We're not going to be sucked into it. We're going to cope, and we're just going to get by the way we are. But we are very much in the middle of nowhere. We can't even walk down to a beach here. We are literally pitched up on a cliff top. So if you go to the edge, it's just sheer drop cliff and the water's just lashing up at the cliff. So you can't go down to a beach. But the hotel does do like private transfers to like the local beach, which is called La Prima or I think it's La Prima or La Prima. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but either way, that's the local beach. And to be fair, that's not much cop. So yeah, I think we're just having pool days and just chilling where we can. But anyway, this is where we're at. We're at a very isolated, remote place. Like I say, there are some nice parts about it as well. It's great. Casper's just gone down for his nap. And anyway, while I've been rabbiting on, I just noticed that we've had a few... Hang on, I'm just scrolling back. Excuse my fingers here. The Foxy Brie has been a louder for 6 months. Amazing. Foxy B says, brilliant channel, Gabby. Thank you, Foxy. I really appreciate your support for the 6 months. That's pretty amazing. If you can hear a kerfuffle in the background, that's Tim washing up. Or washing what's there, or doing something. I don't know what he's doing, to be honest. And I saw another one that I meant to read out. I think it was Craig. Or was it James? I think it was James, actually, who's been a member for quite a while as well, which is amazing. So thank you. Jill says, just joined you. Where are you? I'm in Menorca. The place is actually called Salga. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's quite remote here, but you can see there are a lot of residents that live here. There's some beautiful villas as well. And yeah, it's one of these places where if you was going to buy a villa abroad, you'd probably go here because there's like a nice little sort of area, to be honest, for people to buy villas and just chill out and have a nice little community. Tyler says you missed my last comment, Gabby. What did you say? Sorry, Tyler, because the problem is I was kind of telling a bit of a story about Menorca and I kind of like was on one a little bit. Gabby, any chance of singing happy birthday to Michael Bethwaite? I think we can do that. Karina, thank you so much for becoming a super louder. That's amazing. So anyway, yes, I am going to sing happy birthday. Tim's just gone out. Tim's gone to the pool. Happy birthday to you. Don't judge me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Michael Bethwaite. Or is it Breathwaite? I can't remember. Happy birthday to you. Many happy returns. Hip, hip, hooray. Hip, hip, hooray. Hip, hip, hooray. Hit the birthday cake icon in your little emojis. No, I've only done Mallorca, Jill says. So, oh, wow, Tyler, you passed your barista training. Wow, congratulations. I'm proud of you. How does it feel? Have you got a flat white badge? That's what I want to know. Just chilling out or trying to with my daughter, Lily, after she has completed her GCSEs. Oh, yeah, and well done for the people that have done their GCSEs. Stressful times, aren't they? Aidan says, I've only done the cities on the Spanish mainland. Sevilla's my favourites. Yeah, when is the best time to go to Spanish cities? Because when it is this hot, I don't even want to walk down the hill to the shop. So I'm assuming that the best time to actually do, you know, a city is probably early summer or late summer, really, because that's when, you know, it's not too hot and you can walk around and really explore without feeling uncomfortable. Hi, Gabby, it's Victoria. I'm just chilling out in my bedroom and I really like Lanzarote too. Lanzarote is the first holiday that I went on with Tim, Lanzarote, and it was a really cheap holiday and it was October time and it was really, really... Why is that noise? It was really, really blustery, really, really, really windy. And where we were at the time, I can't even remember whereabouts in Lanzarote we were, but they were doing work on the seafront. So everything looked a bit messy. So we were like, oh, yeah, it's kind of ruined it a little bit, you know, for our first experience. But I reckon if I went back there now, it'd look really nice because the work is bound to be done by now, right? Will Tim be going back to Pontins? I don't know. I think he might be barred from Pontins, you know. I think he might be. Aidan, I did GCSEs in 1995. Do you know what? Let's talk about GCSEs, right? So GCSEs, I'll talk about these bruises in a minute as well. GCSEs, I found my GCSEs really, really stressful. And I'm not gonna don't take what I say and go, oh, well, this is what Gabby done, so therefore that's really cool, so I'm gonna do it too. But I didn't take hardly any of my GCSEs. I couldn't stand school. I went to school in Norwich, and at the time I lived in Caister-on-Sea. Lisa, you'd be familiar with Caister. I grew up in Caister-on-Sea, actually. And obviously a lot of you probably don't know where that is, but the distance from Caister to Norwich is about, I don't know, a 45-minute drive. But we went to school on a coach. And the coach I went on took the long route. So rather than go Caister to Norwich, we went all the way round Will's mother's. So it went from Caister, Ormsby, Hemsby, Martham, where's that place where the horse and groom is? Can't remember. Anyway, all the way round and then up to Norwich. So basically, just by the time you got to Hemsby, you were bursting for a wee and you couldn't get off the bus. I used to get really bad anxiety about that because I'd be like, if I wet myself on this bus, none of the boys are going to fancy me. And to be fair, none of the boys fancied me anyway. I was really down there on the list when it came to fanciable people at school. So I never had a great time when it came to boys, and I never had a massive string load of mates either. So I just absolutely hated it, and it was such a chore to even get to school and get back. By the time I got back from school, I'd have to do my homework, and basically it was bedtime when I had to do that. So there was no chill out time. But the reason I went to school in Norwich is because I'm a Catholic. So it was the nearest Catholic school. So obviously my mum, being a Catholic, wanted us to stick with the Catholic tradition. And it was a really, really good school, to be fair. So she obviously wanted us to have this great education, which is absolutely fine. Only I had other plans in my mind because I never really wanted to go to school because I just wanted to sing. And I didn't have any drive or passion for it at all. So I would just literally get on the bus, and then at the next stop I'd get off the bus, and then I would walk round to my nanny and granddad's house and say, oh, I just really wasn't feeling very well, you know, and I had to get off the bus because I didn't feel well. But don't tell my mum. Don't tell my mum because she won't believe me. And my granny used to say, oh, that's all right. I'll make you a sandwich. And I'd go, oh, thanks, Gran. And she could take a seat, take the weight off. And I'd be like, all right then. And while all my mates were at school, I'd be sat there on the couch and I had my feet up and I'd be all snuggled up. And I'm like, here's a sandwich. Oh, thanks, Gran. And I'd eat my sandwich. Oh, here's a cup of tea, pet. Oh, thanks, Gran. Put the Teletubbies on for me. So, I really, really loved, taking time off school. And there were times when it used to drive my mum absolutely mad, and she'd say, I can't believe that you pulled that stunt, you know, to Granny and Grandad saying that you weren't well. And I'd be like, she doesn't understand. I just genuinely can't go. And there'd be times when my mum and dad would grab both my arms and practically chuck me on the bus, and I'd still get off. And if I ever made it to Norwich, I would look at the school gates and I would take a detour and go to the train station. And then, I couldn't afford my train ticket home. So I used to think of the one girl in school that used to, in fact, if she watches this now, she's now going to find out. But the girls that were nasty at school, well, you know the saying, don't get mad, get even. Well, I used to say to the train driver, oh, I've been sent home ill from school and I don't have any money, but can you please send the bill to my address? And I'd go, yeah, so my name is Carly Grimley. And I would just write the names down, and here's the address, and send the bill to them and just completely lie. So I didn't get mad, I got even. And then when it came to my GCSEs, I had to go. I had to go and do my GCSEs, because if I didn't do my GCSEs, my mum was going to get fined massively. And bear in mind, by this point, I had no education behind me whatsoever. So I would literally just go to the exam, sit there, and I'd have a pen, and I'd look at the exam and be like, I just don't understand what I'm doing here. I don't understand the question. And I just buff my way through it. And everyone else would be writing for about 2 hours long, and I'll finish mine in 10 minutes. And I'd be like, well, they've asked me a question in an English exam. I've answered the question, but little did I know that I had to write an essay about that answer to that question. So I'd just write like a sentence and I'd be done. And I'd be like, why am I done and nobody else is? What? Is this really necessary? 2 hours? I've done mine. And stuff like that. So I used to be really, really bad. And then the last, I did a PE exam. I was very fit at school. I could walk up a hill in the heat when I was at school. It was amazing. But I used to do PE. And then when I did my, I was getting a really nice free draft there. I'm not going to get any aircon outside. Thanks. How am I going to get back in? You know that locks? I know, but when I need to get back in and you're asleep, how am I going to get back in? Oh, God. This might be a really long live. Tim's just locked me out on the balcony. Oh well, yeah, so anyway, like I was saying, with PE, I had to do, I'm going to have to, Craig, I'm going to have to jump over. I've got a dress on, but it's all right, because I've got bikini bottoms on, so it's all right, I could jump over the balcony. So, yeah, half practical, half theory for PE, right? So I've done my theory, and I think I smashed that, to be honest. And when it comes to my practical, I had to do table tennis. I was like, no, why don't you give me the 100 meters and then I will smash that? But no, they gave me table tennis for my practical. Like table tennis, you know, that's the one thing that I'm really poor at. Anyway, I had period pains, so I couldn't do it. I was crippled up and they all thought I was making it up. But this time it was really, really genuine. I did have period pains. So I don't know, I could have had really good marks in PE, but the period let me down. And then what else happened? Spanish. I did amazing in my Spanish. I got good grades with that. That's the only thing I did actually get some grades in, but that's because I went on so many holidays with my dad that I was just good at that in general. I didn't really need to go to school for it. So I passed that all right, not a problem. But RE came. I had to do an RE exam, and then I went to the door, and you know those like little see-through bags that you get when you have to put your stuff in to go through security at the airport? Yeah, you put like your little 100ml bottles in it and stuff like that. Well, I'd got my pens and my rubbers and that, because you've got to take them in see-through bags just so you don't take any cheating material in. And I'd got it, and I was waiting to go in, and I was feeling chunks rise in my throat and stuff like that, and I thought, I don't know, I'm going to sit here for 2.5 hours in an RE exam. I just don't think this is going to happen. And like my legs were trembling. I can feel my legs trembling now, actually. I'm like, got the jitters thinking about it. And I saw the 2.5 hours on the blackboard written there. And then I saw the door that we had to go into, and all the desks were lined up in lines. So I looked again at the 2.5 hours on the chalkboard. I looked again at the desks. I looked again. And then I was out the door. I didn't go in, and I failed, and my mum got charged, and she was really disappointed in me. So I got an ungraded for that, and I pretty much got an ungraded for absolutely everything apart from my Spanish. And I got like a semi-mark in PE. I can't even remember what it was now. I got an all right mark, to be fair, in English, but I don't know which English it was. I don't know if it's English language or English literature. I can't remember. But either way, everything else, very, very poor effort on my behalf. And that is one of the reasons, as well as the driving test, I would not want to be reincarnated again. But Holly never really took a leaf out of my book, because Holly went to school every day. I don't think she had a great time at school when it came to friends and stuff like that. I think that, you know, there was a lot of bitchy girls at the school and stuff, but she soldiered on and went through every day, and she came out with overall A's and A pluses, and she did absolutely amazing. So the fact that, you know, she's my daughter, she definitely got it from somewhere. And I did actually say to my dad, I don't know where she gets it from, because, you know, it's not me, because I didn't even go to school. And Dad said, oh, she gets it from me. I went to grammar school. I was like, oh, all right, Dad. Christopher Goff says, well done, Holly. Yeah, Holly is very, very smart, you know, and she's a hard worker and she does knuckle down. So she isn't anything like me. But anyway, I know that was like a long story, but the moral of the story is don't be like me. Don't not do your exams and then let your mum pay for them when you don't do them, because you do have to pay for them. Just make sure. Sue, yes, I have coloured my hair. Yeah, just make sure that you just go in there and just do the best you can. I mean, to be fair, I was in a situation where I didn't go to school locally. I think if I went to school locally, it might have been a bit more different. I don't know. I might have got beaten up a bit more, but at least, you know, I might have turned up now and again. So there you go. Yeah, I have coloured my hair actually, Sue. So thanks for noticing. Oh, I'm really hot. I don't care what Tim says. Like, there was a really nice through draft coming through, and now I'm on the balcony. There's no through draft at all. He's done it to me on purpose. If it was his life, he wouldn't have done it, would he? I am so hot. So yeah, I dyed my own hair. I'm sweating. I am sweating. Damn that man. I had a really nice breeze coming through and I'm absolutely sweating now. Oh, I'm so sorry. Right. So yeah, I dyed it. This is the thing with Tim, right? He's not watching, so I'm going to say this about him. When it's his life, it's, Gabby, we've got to do this, we've got to do this, la 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 la. I'm making some great big rant and rave about it. But when I'm doing it, no, I don't care if it's hot on that balcony. You can just suffer, because he's gone for a nap and he wants the AC on, so he's absolutely fine. Such a selfish man. But, you know, maybe I'm just too easygoing. Maybe I need to put my foot down a little bit more. I don't know. But I am really hot. Ebony says, don't worry about sweating. It's totally natural. Yeah, I know, but I don't need to be sweating. I could have a free draft. So yeah, I dyed my hair. I did it myself. Like, sometimes I'll go to the hairdressers and have my hair dyed if I'm going to do it. But to be honest, 9 times out of 10, if I'm doing an all over colour, I just do it myself. Andrew says, I just fancied a change, you know, because, thank you, Rose. I appreciate that. Gabby, your hair is looking just perfect. Thank you. Sophie says, you can do the jump in the pool you didn't do last night. I'm thinking that I might actually, but I've got to jump over the wall first before I can even get to the pool. What's the grounds like? Might be a few cockroaches in the grounds, but I might be able to do it. Yeah, might be able to. I had a meltdown in my uni exam. Well, I had loads of meltdowns, so you're all not on your own there. Tim should get you a nice cold drink, Gabby. Well, I'll tell you something. He's woke up on the wrong side of bed today. I don't know. He's just really moody today. Really moody. Like, usually he'd be like, Gabby, do you want to borrow my stand? Gabby, you know, I'll make you a coffee while you do it. And it's like, oh, really nice. But today, he's not offered me a coffee. He's not offered me a stand. Do you know what I'm holding the phone on? I've got a pan. Right, and then I've got my body butter on top of the pan, and then I've got like a shoe behind the body butter, and I'm holding my phone up. So I didn't even ask for the stand. I thought, if you're not going to offer, I'm not going to ask. So he's really moody today, unfortunately. But he won't know I've said this because he's not going to watch this back, so don't tell him I've said it. Lucy, thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you. I may go and get an ice cream if they do vegan here. I know, poor me, Sophie. I feel so sorry for myself. It's the menopause. He's at that age. He is. We all, to be fair, if we ever go on holiday, we always get to the 3rd or the 4th day, and he does have like a little bit of a PMT moment. I think basically, because he's surrounded by girls, he gets a little bit outvoted at times with things, and then he gets a bit grumpy. Is he a bit grumpy after that bug bit him on the head last night? He's had quite a few bites, actually. He's had loads. I think he's just overly tired. I think the thing is as well, because we don't really get a lot of sleep with Casper, I think, you know, it does sort of take it out of you, doesn't it? And then you start to get a bit, yeah. Has something biting you again, Gabby? My son did that to me. Yeah, let's talk about. Can you see them? Can you see? Like, I've not concealed them. I'm not hiding them because it's all very natural, I think, when you've got a baby. So I've got a bite mark here. Got a bite mark here. I've got one here. So I've got 3 bite marks. They are like a nice shade of grey, purple and brown. I think he always does it when I've got them in my arms. They're not sore. They look sore, Ebony, but they're not. They were sore when they happened, but they're not sore now. I think when I've got Casper in my arms, he goes to bite me, thinking that, obviously when I hold him, he associates it with breastfeeding, doesn't he? So that's why he does it. And then if I hold him in my arm, he'll sort of turn his head in and go to bite, because it's his way of saying, like, I want a feed, basically. And I think he sees that and associates it with like a soft bit of skin. Could be Tim's ear infection. Yeah, it could be, Joanna, because he said to me this morning at breakfast, would it be really stupid if I came home with you to go and get my ears syringed and then drove back to the airport to get the plane for Zante the next day? And I said, Tim, by the time we get back home, the shops will be shut and you won't be able to get your ears syringed. And that's even if we get back at a reasonable time, because our flight comes in at about 1:30, I think it is, but we've got to get through passport control, get to the car park, get the car out, and you know what traffic's like. So if we get stuck in traffic, that could be a bit of a nightmare too. So, you know, I did say, I don't think that's going to work. So I don't know what he's going to do about Zante. I think, you know, we need to keep an eye on this ear. Try to get some ear calm. It's good. Where'd you get that, Pauline? Is that something that you could buy abroad? I've never heard of ear calm. You can use baby oil to help with ear infection. Can you? We don't actually have any baby oil. I don't think we've ever used it, to be honest. Not even on bumps. Get him to bite the other arm to match up. Yeah. Craig says, funny thing, Gabby, my ears are blocked too. It's weird. Maybe it is that time of year. I don't know. But I think with Tim, it's the flying and then the jumping in the pool and have his head under the water all the time, because that can actually do that, can't it? Has Tim tried sodium bicarbonate eardrops or olive oil? I don't think he's tried anything. I think he's hoped that it will just unblock naturally. Although, I don't know what he was watching on his phone at breakfast today, but he just put his like hand over his nose and was like going like that and blowing hard, and I just looked at him and I had no idea what he was trying to attempt, and I just was like, you all right? Like, what are you doing? So I could see that he was trying to unblock something, and I know that like when people are in pain and something's aggravating them, it can make them quite grumpy, can't it, to be honest? So I'm letting him off today, you know, that we will wipe the slate clean for today. His brain might pop. Yeah, I think he wants something to pop. Something needs to pop, Craig. Something. Clearing his tubes, Belvedere says. Yeah, I know, something like that. Eugene, they are chatting about missing Titanic submersible on Sky News right now, Gabby. Yeah, I've been hearing dribs and drabs about that, but like I said last night, when we're abroad, we kind of switch off a little bit from the news because it gets you down a little bit, because it's all doom and gloom, innit? Like, if they're not talking about Philip Schofield, or if they're not talking about, I don't know, what else is in the news at the moment? Not so much COVID, is it? But war and North Korea and people that are really unwell and just disasters all over the place. And you have all the sympathy in the world, of course you do, but there just comes a point where you're like, I just don't want to hear anything, because if I just keep listening, like, it will just drive you into a bit of a mental breakdown, because you sympathise with absolutely everything you hear on the news, especially if you're someone like me, because I'm just like, I feel everybody's pain. I am the softest person in the world, I swear. So like, I suffer with anxiety, but I worry about like everybody kind of thing, and everything really upsets me. So I try to, you know, and I will hear something and I'll go on and on about it, and then like people will say to me, Gabby, it's not happening to you, so why are you worried about it? And I'll be like, I don't know, I just can't help it. So I'm one of these people that really takes something and runs with it, and it sort of plays a little bit on my mind because I'm quite an emotional soul. So yeah, when it comes to the news, I think it's really good for me to kind of sometimes stay clear of it, especially like if I'm on holiday, because I will just, right now, if I'm thinking about that Titanic situation, I will just be picturing myself being in that submarine or whatever it is that's gone down, that boat, and I'll imagine myself being in their shoes struggling, and I'll just have major anxiety and think, oh my god, them poor people, I can imagine what they're going through. And yeah, and I'd just be in a right state thinking about it, and I probably wouldn't sleep. So I kind of do go, well, okay, so yeah, there are some things that are nasty that are happening, but I've got to focus on like my own mental health, my baby, and my husband and my daughter, you know, and we're trying to have a nice time. Let's switch off from that and worry about that later, kind of thing, because, you know, otherwise it's just a little bit too much, you know. It can drive you completely round the bend. Okay, Foxy, thank you so much for being mod today. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on board and getting involved. I know that we started the live late today, didn't we? But also, oh, Holly, open the door. Oh no, that's Tim. What does that say? Hang on. Someone's chat then just Tyler, I was in Gran Canaria just as COVID broke out, and it was all in the hotel, couldn't stop talking about it. I don't think anybody could escape COVID, could they? Why is Tim barred from Pontins? Keisha says. I don't think he is, but I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes barred from Pontins. If he goes again, he'll definitely get barred, because he's reporting back about. Well, have you come to join us?
No.
Oh, that's nice. No word of a lie, Tim. I am sweating out here. I really needed that free draft. It made such a difference with the door shut.
It was just because Casper's in there, in the air
I
conditioning.
know.
And it's warm.
Anyway, Tim's here.
Hi.
We've been talking about you. People have got remedies for your ear.
What? I think it's a build. It's gross to say, but I think it's a build up of earwax.
So he's got an earwax situation. He's got an earwax situation. So some people have said that you can use baby oil. What else did people say? What was that thing?
But I put some oil in my ear once when I had this, and it caused me to get an infection.
There was something else someone said. Biocarbonate something. I need to get a drink.
There's no pharmacy around here, so it's like, I've heard of these in Spain. You get these candles that you can put in your ears, but I don't think they work. Mine, I think, is blocked.
Ear calm. That's what Pauline says. It's called ear calm.
What?
There's something you can buy called ear calm.
In Spain?
Can you buy it in Spain though? Can you buy it here?
I've used like oil in my ear, and I just clogged it up even more, and it just got really bad. Do you remember? And obviously because I've got to do a couple of flights, and water going in my ear, it's going to be worse.
Can I just say something while you're here? Oh, my legs have stuck to this chair.
Gross.
Can I say something while you're here? Yeah. You look so sexy in them swimming shorts. And I mean it. There you go. I've said that in front of 177 people. So we got 76 people. Someone's just gone watching. Hit the thumbs up, guys. We've got 83 thumbs up. So please hit the thumbs and let's feel the love. Let's feel it. Fun things to do with Text Sparky says ear calm is the best. Wow. So there you go. So the likes have gone up a little bit. We've got 84 likes. Can we beat more than 8? We've got 87 likes. Wonderful. Hit those likes. Give me a like for the sun and the palm tree in Menorca. We're loving it here. We're absolutely loving it. So also, just to let you know, sorry, I'm standing up a little bit because I'm stuck to the chair. I do need a long cold drink. I've got some water here. Wait there a second. I don't always like to keep you waiting, but just wait a second because I've just got to get a swig of water. Hold on. Hold that thought. La, la, la. Where is my water? Where is the water? Oh, sorry, hon. I can't find my water. Can't find my water. favour and bring that water out, please, darling? So, the live is still there, Tim. The live is still there. So, anyway, I need a nice beer, but I haven't got any beers in here at the moment. So anyway, like I was saying, you might have noticed that I didn't actually put a vlog up last week, and usually I put one vlog up a week and do a coffee morning, but there is a reason for that. The reason is I've recorded and done a vlog, but I can't put my vlog out until Tim does his, because obviously I can't give, my vlog will give too much of the game away. So I need to hold off until Tim puts his out. So it's all ready to go. It's all ready, but I can't release it until he does. So I need to hang in there. But I have just put another one up, but I'm not going to do that on the same day as the coffee lunchtime. Oh man, can you fill it for me? Thanks, darling. That'd be great. Yeah, I can't release it the same day as a coffee morning, because then that'd be Gabby overload, and then you're all gonna be really, really disappointed with that. So I'm probably gonna release that tomorrow. So you're probably gonna have a triple whammy in 1 week. So yeah, brace yourself. So the long pause is worth the wait. Back in the day, did you ever audition for the X Factor? Duncan, yes I did. Oh, I got 194 people watching. Wow. Yeah, I did audition for the X Factor. It was the year that Shane Ward won it, and I didn't even get past the first round. So it was not what I expected it to be. So I thought when I went there, I was going to have like, I thought we were going to have Sharon Osbourne and Louis Walsh, and I thought I was going to have Simon Cowell actually judge me, you know, like you actually see on the telly, but you don't. You have to go through like, I don't know, 5 different rounds with random judges before you can even get to that point. Have you filled it? Oh, man.
But then it makes you wonder, well, how do all these terrible people get through to Simon Cowell? How does that make
Well,
sense?
this is what I was going to say. So obviously I've seen some amazing singers not get through on my audition. So I went down into like a basement and auditioned to 3 different judges that weren't them. And straight away they said no. And I was like, well, that's fine. And I saw other people go in and come out disappointed who I knew were good singers, because they're all like, there's a lot of divas there, you know, and they're all sat there in the waiting area singing and showing off and doing all that. And I was like, wow, you know, that person's got a really, really good voice, etc., etc. And they didn't get through either, because you had to get one of these gold cards to get through the next round. They were like gold dust. And yeah, so when you actually see X Factor and you see like really, really bad singers actually audition in front of Simon Cowell and that, you now know what they are doing to people. So they're going for these auditions like everybody else, and they are so bad, they're putting them through for entertainment value rather than for the genuine reasons. So there's 2 ways you can look at that. You could look at that and go, wow, it makes good TV and gives us a good laugh. But then there's another way you can look at it and be like, well, some of these people have got serious mental health problems, clearly, haven't they? And you're really taking the mickey a little bit out of them, and you're playing on their vulnerability and basically building up their hopes, making out they've got some sort of future, and then you're putting them through and you're raw humiliating them on national TV. So there's 2 different ways you can look at that, really, and I think it can be quite a cruel thing. But until you actually go and experience it yourself, you don't realise. But from that moment, I never really had much of a I'd never had a high opinion on the X Factor, to be honest, because I always felt like it was a bit staged and a little bit cruel in some areas. Don't get me wrong, if this was genuine and these were the start of the auditions, you could probably understand and be like, what are you doing here? Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't be here, and that's fine. But when you know that they've got to get through X amount of rounds before they get to that point, it does open up your eyes and make you realise what they're actually putting people through. And another thing is the expense. So when you go to do the X Factor, obviously to get there, I had to pay for train fare there and back. don't get me wrong, I did amalgamate it with a little bit of a London trip, but I think you have to, because otherwise you're just wasting money. But I was like, God, I really could have saved money on that train ticket and not bothered going, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't be going again, sort of you learn your lesson kind of thing. And, or anything like that. Like, there is absolutely no way at all that I would ever go for any of those shows ever again, because it really is just staged 100%. I mean, there was one year when Ray Quinn came second. Well, Ray Quinn was already famous. He already had a top agent, so he must have like, and he wasn't, he's an all right singer, but I wouldn't listen to Ray Quinn and be like, wow, you're phenomenal. Some people might think he is phenomenal, but in my opinion, he's not phenomenal. He's just a good singer, you know. But I don't rate myself as phenomenal either. I rate myself as just a singer who gets by, you know. But he came second, and I'm like, so out of all those thousands and thousands of people, Ray Quinn, who was famous in that, just happened to come second, really? So it's obvious that they've got agents that sort of like push them through and stuff, and they scratch each other's backs. It's very corrupt. So when you look at these people that have got like mental health issues and they get through to this certain round and stuff, they've spent money on train fare, they've had to buy their lunch and stuff like that, you know, and they've spent all that money, and it's broke their heart, you know. It's just so unfair, really, you know. George says Ray Quinn was in Brookside. He was already famous. And that's the thing. There was also another one that came on around about the same year that I auditioned for, which I thought was going to be a completely different kettle of fish, and it was called Grease is the Word. I don't know if you ever remember it. And I auditioned for that, and it was the most ridiculous audition I've ever been to in my life. I don't think they even properly listened to me sing. So that was a complete waste of time. But this is obviously, I was a lot younger then. Like this is before I even went to Gran Canaria and worked, you know. So we're going back a long, long time ago. And I didn't get through the first round for that one either. Really, really hard. And you know who won it? Brian McFadden's sister. Bit of a coincidence, isn't it? And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't have expected to win it, but I'm just saying that when you see some of the people that do win, it does make you wonder if they've already got agents that have got them so far and stuff like that. So I would never go for anything like that again. And one of the things is with X Factor as well, we all know, right, that a lot of people who are judging other things in life have took a leaf out of those books and have become very power trippy, right? So on the same, I think it was the same year. No, it was the same year as Pop Idol, right? Oh, just quickly, I just won't miss that. Hang on, that just popped up in front of my face. James, thank you so, so much. This is for Chuckles Bumps. Buy him a little gift. I will. I'm going to get him a couple of ice creams today because they do vegan ones here. So I'm going to do that. I think he'll love it. It's so hot. Thank you so much, James. That's really kind. So, yeah, Tim doesn't actually know this story, but the same year Pop Idol came out, when Hearsay won, they, obviously the judges were very nasty, weren't they? And there was that nasty Nigel and stuff like that. So people were like, who were auditioning people that year, were trying to be very much like Nasty Nigel. And I went for an audition at Butlins for the show team, not to be an entertainer, but to take part in the shows. And this was the same year, I think, I started working for Richardson's actually as an entertainer. So we're going back a long, long time ago. And I went there, travelled down, and then I watched everybody audition. Like, we all got sort of numbers and stuff like that. And you had to do like a singing bit, and then you had to do a dancing bit, or you had to do a dancing bit, then a singing bit, and then you had to get through one bit to get to the other. So I was just about to do the dance bit, but I had to do the singing first. And I can't even remember what he sang, to be honest with you. It was a ballad of some description. And there was 3 judges in front of me. Bear in mind, this is Butlins we're talking about, right? Butlins with the dirty floor, right? So they turn around and go to me, stop. And I was like, oh, that was pretty abrupt. She went, have you got any dance certificates? And I went, did I just wake thumbs up? I did. I wake thumbs up by shouting stop.
Yeah. So he's only live for 45 minutes.
How long is it? So yeah, I'll tell this story first. So anyway, she went, have you got any dance certificates? And I was like, I don't have any dance grades. I said, but I did get a distinction in dance in college. So I come out of college with distinction. And she went, yes, but do you have any grades? I went, well, no, I never went to dance school. Well, not since I was a little girl. I said, never went to dance school, but I got my grades at college. I got distinction in it, and I got a BTEC National. And she went, so no dance grades? I was like, no. She went, well, go home then. And I was like, wow. So she didn't even want to see me dance. She just, knew that I had no dance grades and didn't want to know. So I think she liked the singing, but in her mind, she was like, there's no point in you can...
Karma came back and bit her on the bum.
I know, right? Well, they got dirty carpets and buttons anyway, so I didn't really want to work there anyway. But I just, when I came off the stage, this young lad who I'd made friends with, not on a romantic level at all, I think he was gay anyway, but he went to me, I can't believe she spoke to you like that. And I was like, well, standard. But it really annoyed me because I drove all the way to Skegness from where I live. I was only a young girl, so I must have been about, 19, I think it was, because I was out at the Spice Girl tribute band by then. So 19 going on to 20, so still quite young. And to say that to someone when they've not done anything wrong, they've gone out of their way to try and get work so they can pay tax, and actually survive and not go on job seekers allowance, and actually wants to entertain people and do a good thing. And that's how you get treated. And you've not been a bad person. You've gone up there, you've sang your heart out, you tried really hard. And anyway, once I had Holly, after that, obviously I moved on to bigger and better things anyway. Like I ended up going abroad and had a great career. But the point I'm trying to make is that by the time I come home and I'd had Holly, I then went out and went to dance school, and I got all my grades straight after while I was at stay-at-home mum. So I've got trophies and certificates now, because I was like, do you know what, I'm going to go and get them dance grades, so the next time anyone turns around and says to me, have you got dance certificates, I can go, yes, I have. But the funny thing was, my cousin, who is quite high up in the holiday parks, said to me, why didn't you lie? And I went, I can't lie. And he went, yeah, you can. He said, that's the only way you get anywhere in life, by lying. And I was like, do you know what, I should have lied. And then when I probably shouldn't actually say this, but I'm going to, because, it doesn't matter. But I went for my audition for my travel. It was actually Air Tours at the time. I don't know if you remember Air Tours, but I worked for Air Tours, which then became my travel, which then later on when I left became Thomas Cook. So those of you may become familiar with the brand. But it was Air Tours. And I went for my audition for Air Tours. And they said to me, they listened to me sing and they listened to me dance and they loved it, and then they were like, right, come and have an interview. So I went and had my interview, and I sat there and they were asking me all these questions under the sun, and I just lied my back teeth out. And they went, have you done compare work before? I went, oh yeah. I said, do compare work all the time. Where do you do compare work? I went, at the holiday park I work at, which is New Horizons, which is Richardson's now. I said I do it at New Horizons all the time. I never compared in my life. And all I ever did was like a couple of shows and like compare the activities, like bowls and stuff like that. And I just lied, and they went, have you done children's mini disco before? I went, yeah, do it all the time. And bear in mind, I worked at an adults only park, so I just lied. And he was really impressed. He was like, great. And anyway, I got a phone call, I think it was like 2 days later, and I was actually at work at Richardson's, New Horizons at the time. And they went, we'd like to offer you a job and we want you to come for a week's training course. And then my entertainment manager at New Horizons said to me, you are going to stay next year, aren't you? And I went, yeah. And I thought, oh no, what am I going to do? And me having like a big heart, I was like, oh no, I'm going to let them down. But I went anyway, and went on this training course in Blackpool at the Imperial actually, which was amazing. And then I got the phone call from who's now a really good friend of mine, Chris Newsom, who was actually getting us through at the time. And he said to me, I want you to come out to Gran Canaria and work there. And I thought, great. And he was like, you've got a week until you need to pack a bag and go. And I was like, brilliant. So I had my 21st birthday, and I literally like left the day after my 21st. So I had a major hangover. So it was really, really good. And then they put a microphone in my hand and went, you're comparing mini disco tonight. And I went, am I? Oh, I don't know how to compare. But I did do a good job, and I done it, and I got through it, and I learned everything I needed to know from them, and my husband, of course. Just quickly as well, because I've just had a super chat from Barry. Thank you so much, Barry. Let me just quickly go back to that, because I don't want to miss your super chat. Hang on, where is it? Vegan ice creams for yourself and one for Fumps. Thank you so much, Barry. I wondered where you was, Barry. I hadn't seen you up until now. It was lovely to see you, and thank you. It's really, really kind. Samantha says, bit of a blessing in disguise, but still no need to be rude about it, though. Oh my God, I know, Samantha. What is wrong with people? It's absolutely mental. Hang on. Yeah, that's Barry's there. Keisha said, did you watch Britain's Got Talent? I don't watch Britain's Got Talent, because I do feel like it's the same vibe really as the X Factor. I think there is a lot of I do hear on the grapevine that the person that won it probably shouldn't have won it, but I don't really know what they did. I just heard this on the grapevine. Anyway, 192 people watching. I've got 123 thumbs up. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please hit the thumbs up and show your love. I really, really appreciate it. Before we do go this afternoon, because obviously I really need to jump in the pool because I am so hot. Before I go, there is going to be a vlog released. I think I'm going to release it tomorrow, so just watch this space and bear with me, and there will be quite a few to follow, because obviously that's why there's been a gap, because they've been building up a little bit. So just hang in there. If you're wondering about channel memberships, just to let you know, there's an option to sign up and become a channel member. It's optional. There are 2 different tiers. The first tier, you get customized emojis, priority responses to your comments. I think it's the cleaners. Is it the cleaners? Cleaners are coming in, so this is good timing actually. And yeah, and you get little badges next to your names as well. And for every month that you're a member, you do get a different colour change. So it's a great way to show your support, and it's a great way to support the channel. There you go. Chris Goff is putting all the little customized emojis up there, loving it. And then there is the higher tier, which is the super louders, which gives you all that, but it also gives you a few of the behind the scenes little videos as well that I put up, like sneaky snippets of what's going on. And that's probably why a lot of you that are super louders probably know a little bit of insight into what's going on in the next vlog. Tim turned around and said to me the other day, what have you told people about us going on that UK break? And I was like, oh, I've only told the super louders, but word does get around, doesn't it? So yeah, so you get little videos like that. Not all the time videos like that, but you do get them. But I want to say thank you to the moderators that have joined. Thank you all for giving up your afternoon/lunchtime and for joining as well. I really enjoyed you being here. I love chatting to you guys, and I really appreciate all your support. I'm going to end this now, but I'm going to be back to my normal coffee morning on Monday. No, I'm not. I'm going to be travelling Monday. It may have to be Wednesday because my car's going in the garage on Tuesday. So it'll have to be Wednesday. But I will not be leaving it any longer than a week. I promise you all now. But thank you very much. And I will catch you all very soon. Love you all lots. Have a great day. And if you're going to do anything today, make sure it's positive and be kind to people. Don't be like the people from Butlins. See you later, everyone. Bye.